Welcome to the Dan Stevens Show. Today I'm delighted to have a guest with me. He is the Father Ted, Savage Eye, Naked Camera, Irish stand-up comedy legend, Pat McDonnell.
Thanks, Dan. It's great to be here. I know the Tulka River is just beside us there.
That's right.
And it's raining very heavily. So we probably don't have long before it bursts its banks.
Probably not.
Yeah. I'm nervous.
Yeah. I have armbands and life jackets just over there.
Right.
So we'll be alright.
Ah, yeah, cool. I
only have one set though. So you'll have to hang on to me. Or will I hang on to you?
I can't swim.
Alright, you can hang on to me, so we'll float it out.
Yeah.
We'll float down to Finglas, probably.
Yeah, be grand.
Yeah. Sound. How are you, Pat?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. Yeah, I enjoyed doing the gig the other night in the Step In.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Cool crack,
it's a great spot, yeah.
Nice
well done.
Nice little
You
room.
and Dane have a great club there.
Thanks very much. Yeah. We actually had David McSavage in there on the 10th of April. One of your old colleagues there. You've worked with him a bit, haven't you?
Yeah.
So hopefully that gets a few tickets in. But yeah, we had a great night there. We had a lot of people in. So thank you for doing it, Pat.
Yeah, no, it was a pleasure. Yeah.
It was great crack. We were just having a coffee there before we came down to the studio. And now this has never happened to me before in that particular... Will we name the coffee shop?
It's a big chain. Like, is it an international chain?
I think it's just Irish now.
Oh, right, okay.
I think so. Do you know who owns it? A fella from the Dragon's Den.
No way.
Yeah. He started the brand.
Insomnia.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to start doing clues for it there. You know, you wouldn't sleep much after it. But is it Bobby Kerr? One of them from the Irish Dragons Den. But we walked in to get a coffee and Pat very kindly actually bought me a coffee.
I'm glad you put that on the record there that I bought.
Because I get buy me a coffee donations sometimes. I've had 2 this year so far. Terrible.
Yeah.
They're not very... Well, they are very generous, some people. But anyway, I won't get into that. And we go to the counter to pay. Pat produces cash. And...
She said, fuck off. No, she said, we don't have change. Sorry about that. And luckily I had a card. Luckily I had money on the card as well.
Yeah.
And I was able to buy it. But, I could have had no coffee. Because they wouldn't take the 50. You know?
Surely that's not legal.
I'd say, well, this is difficult because I've named the coffee shop. But it possibly isn't legal. I mean, it should be. It's like legal tender, and it should be acceptable everywhere.
I think so as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. She said, no, not many people use cash anymore. That's why we don't have change. I was thinking to myself, this man is trying to use cash right now.
Yeah.
You're not accepting it.
I know. I'm sure some libertarian type, would have a big issue and might take them to court over that. Like, because, you're meant to... Everywhere is meant to take legal tender, not aware. We're not living in China. In China, they don't use cash much at all, apparently. Like, very little. And I've seen videos of people online and they're bringing out cash in China and they say, we don't take that, it's not, and like it's all on the phone.
That's
Everything's on the phone. There's no even cards.
It's an app.
It's an app. It's a government app. We're not living in China.
We're not living in China, okay?
We're in Blanchardstown.
Exactly.
Beside the bursting banks of the Tulka.
Yes.
They need to take our cash.
Exactly, and that's no offence to the local Chinese takeaway, by the way.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Do you like the Garden House?
Yeah, we get Garden House a lot and they're very good.
So you're welcome. Sorry, I'm not saying anything about Chinese people.
It's nothing to do with China. They're not in China.
Yeah.
But
they escaped.
But yeah. No, they didn't. That's jeez, you're digging yourself a grave there. But like no.
Let's hold on. I'll tell you who does take cash. The
Garden House.
Chinese.
They only take cash. They wouldn't take card over the phone.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all cash.
And like I said before, on when you ring the Garden House, do you ring in your orders?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, how long will you be? They don't even take 2 minutes to make the food.
No.
They ask you how long you'll be.
Yeah, it's like the mind readers.
I know they do delivery. Do you get the delivery?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Yeah.
I give them a little tip as well.
Yeah.
And but they're there in no time, and it's almost like they know what you're going to order. Maybe they're listening on the phones because it's. But
God bless the Chinese people.
yeah.
Anyway.
But like anyway, I wouldn't like to live in China with everything's monitored, everything goes through your phone, and it's really it's too much.
Yeah.
And yet in Ireland we still have a modicum of freedom.
Yes.
And cash is important, intrinsic to our freedoms. That we can use cash, but not in Insomnia and Blanchardstown.
Yeah. And see, if there was a sign saying we don't accept cash, that's different.
Yeah.
You've kind of agreed to the contract of not using cash by being a customer there. But I wonder how it started in China, you know what I mean? Maybe it was like that.
Oh, they want complete control. They want total control, and they don't want a black economy. They don't want a cash economy at all.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, before the app and before they accepted all that, I wonder was the first step kind of places shunning cash like that, you know? And then all of a sudden we're cashless everywhere, and then next thing you know, if you're locked out your app, you've no money.
You've no money.
Yeah. So let's
if you didn't bring a charger, if you're out of juice,
imagine.
Yeah, if your battery goes,
Yeah.
you're helpless.
And another thing is that Ryanair have changed to digital boarding passes only now. So you have to have it.
You have to have your
have
phone.
to have it on your phone.
Yeah. We never think of the consequences of that.
There's something
down the
innately
line.
disturbing about that, isn't there?
There is 100%.
It's hard to explain exactly what it is, but
like a lot of people don't have mobile phones, and rightly so.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have to have a mobile phone
yeah,
or any phone. You don't have to.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we didn't have a phone till 1989 at home. I was 20 in my house in Louth. No phone. No one could contact us.
Right.
You know, if someone, like I remember when my uncle died, and whoever in the family rang the local pub, and this alky came down to break the news to my mother. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the news went to the pub and then it filtered out.
Yeah,
to
and
the,
your brother's lad, and, you know,
Right.
and she's like crying, and he doesn't care. Yeah,
Jesus.
but that was it. We got everything came through the local pub.
Yeah.
But and then, you know, that was 1989. I got my first mobile in 99. I was late, you know, so suddenly you're connected everywhere you go, and you very quickly go from not be contactable to,
Yeah.
you know, to the Chinese government knowing everything you do.
Yeah.
And the Israeli government, haven't they got like hacked everything?
Probably, yeah.
Mossad, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes I'd wish they'd hack into my podcast page and start distributing it.
Yeah,
You know?
but you know, there's a
Give it a
downside
few-
to
give
that.
it a few
Mossad
listens.
giving you a boost, you know.
Yeah.
I would say
Yeah.
there might be a downside to that, you know, with some of the Irish listeners.
As well, if you're trying, like we do stand up, you know, you're in the stand up comedy game for a long time yourself. You've seen that change of, like, when you first started, how would you be asked to do a gig? And now, if you leave your phone down for an hour, well, for me anyway, and someone asks you to do a gig and you don't look at your phone, you could miss out on a gig.
I didn't have a phone when I started. I started in 1995, and I was living in different sort of bedsits, and there'd be a pay phone in the hall, and you could contact me there. And luckily, hopefully one of the girls or someone in another flat would be there to take a message.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of gigs that way.
Yeah.
Just people leaving a message in the hall written in pencil, and I was uncontactable.
That's freedom.
And that's freedom. But like, I didn't have to worry. I always got work, so everything went through. Like everything I did went through that
Yeah.
place in the hall. It was freezing, and you know,
Yeah.
and so that was it. And within, like, now, I'm at home, and I'm constantly worried I'll lose a gig.
Yeah.
Someone will text and say, "Are you free on the la la la?" And you'll be worried by the time you get to it, it'll be gone.
Yeah. They get someone else.
Yeah,
I don't know what they might give you an hour or something.
they might give you an hour, but like, I'm really paranoid about that. Or
Yeah.
even if you just go for a nap
Yeah.
in the middle of the day,
Exactly.
and then you wake up, oh, I missed 2 gigs. Yeah,
That's losing out on work. That's losing out on money because, you know, there's no alternative. You have to be on it now.
yeah,
The phone.
yeah.
It's in every walk
I
of
wonder
life
how
now.
I mean, we always say this, people my age, how did we survive without the mobile phone?
Yeah.
But we did, and we get on grand. And like,
Yeah.
you'd end up, I'd go down the country to gigs, and I'd always find my way, and I'd always get to find the venue and all that without the maps and anything like that,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. So, did you say you started in 1995?
Yeah.
And where was your first gig?
The International Bar on the Wednesday night. It was the Comedy
Right.
Cellar, still going.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
did it a
Barry
couple of
Murphy
weeks ago
rang.
myself.
Huh?
I did that a couple of
Yeah,
weeks
yeah,
ago
yeah.
myself.
So did I. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Barry Murphy was running it then.
Yeah.
So how I got into it was I was writing sketches. I wanted to be a script writer with a friend of mine from Dundalk, and we were going to write sketches for people. Like we used to watch shows like Harry Enfield and that, you know.
Brilliant.
I mean he was a huge inspiration. Him and Paul Whitehouse, huge inspiration to me to get into it. And I thought, God, wouldn't it be great to write sketches and send them in? And so we wrote a few sketches and filmed a few of them. And we went to RTE, or my friend went out to RTE, and they said, look, they're good and all that, but like, you're better off trying to hone these live. Go to the International Bar and get a gig and hone them and then come back to us, you know, and it's a bit tighter. So he went to book a gig where we would try out sketches. And then he got a job in Belfast, said, look, I have to go. I have to go. And I said, oh, shite. And we had the gig booked. So I had to come up with a set. I never, ever thought of doing stand-up.
Right.
Not really.
So the first gig you ever did was originally supposed to be a sketch.
Yeah,
with your
sketches,
friend.
yeah. And I hadn't a clue.
And how long before the gig did you find out he wouldn't be doing it with you?
Maybe a few weeks.
Right.
3 weeks or something like that. And I just didn't know where to start. I mean, and I was conscious as well, Ardal O'Hanlon was just breaking through then.
Right.
And he was brilliant when he started.
Just
like, you know,
naturally
and he still
straight
is
off
like,
the-
but you know, he was it was a cut above what we'd seen before.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, he's kind of vaguely from he's in about 7 or 8 miles from me, probably 10 miles maybe. And, you know, similar accent. So, you know, I'll just try and be myself maybe. And I come up with material and it was shite. Like, you know, but I got through it just on,
Yeah.
just, I don't know, I wasn't confident. Just I had to do it. I just said I'd do it, so I had to do it.
Yeah.
I remember sitting in the audience thinking, well, I'll just go home. You know?
Yeah.
Did you get that?
Oh,
Just thinking
yeah.
there going,
Plenty of times.
I could just walk out now.
Yeah.
You know? And so I managed to just get through on that gig. And then I did, there used to be gigs in the Gaiety Theatre in the pub, JB's Bar, I think it was in the Gaiety Theatre. And I got a few there and I tanked just completely. And I did another one in the Inter and it didn't go well. Like, it could be hard. If there's not that many people in, it could be very hard, the Inter. If it's jammed, it's really easy. And if it's not, it can be very hard.
But back then, was it mainly tourists or
No,
Irish people would go into town to watch
predominantly
comedy?
Irish, yeah. I mean, you'd be talking 99% Irish. There might be one tourist now and again, but like, no, now that,
The opposite
then,
now.
It's the opposite now.
Flipped.
Totally flipped. So I did, and then one night I said, right, I'm going to quit. I've one more gig left in the Inter. I'm just going to say, if this doesn't happen, I'm going to quit. And I just remembered a few stories I had growing up of people were in Louth, local characters. There was one guy called Slithery Noel. And it was a great name and everyone used to find it very funny. So I told that story. I got big laughs. Now, luckily, the place was jammed. And I got big laughs. And suddenly, I got a name for myself. And I got like loads
May
more
I
gigs.
ask about Slithery Noel? Can you give us a little...
Slithery Noel died there a few years ago. Yeah, he was a guy in Tremiskin. Myself and a friend used to like wander around, like, you know, we'd wander around like the farmland, and he used to chase us off his land, Slithery Noel. And he was a cross-country runner, so he was fast. But we'd always get away, and he'd give out shit to us.
A cross-country slitherer.
Slithery, yeah. I don't know why. I mean, slithery can mean you're a bit slippery, you know, a bit like... And then there was Slithery, like there was a rumour he might have slipped when he was racing one time doing a cross-country race. Slipped and shite. So I wasn't quite sure. But anyway, I told that story and that went well.
Yeah.
And then it was all downhill from there.
Right.
Yeah, it was uphill till then. And then, yeah.
Downhill is easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, downhill is seen as, when someone says you're going downhill from here, as a bad thing.
Yeah.
You'd rather be going downhill, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would. Yeah, it's much
easy,
easier.
yeah.
Yeah. But like, so I got the Kilkenny Festival, like within months of start. Like really, I was too quick.
Right.
And I was in the So You Think You're Funny final as well with Tommy Tiernan and Jason Byrne and others. And that all happened so quickly. Nowadays, I meet people and they're doing open spots and you say, how long are you doing? Oh, 3 years now.
Yeah.
we were doing it 3 months, and we were like, on television, and doors open. There were very few people doing it then. It was a tiny, tiny circuit. It wasn't even a circuit. There weren't enough people to make a circuit.
Right.
But it all happened very, very quickly. Yeah.
And then what was the process of? I suppose you got headhunted then for. What was it? Was Father Ted your first?
So I had friends who wrote scripts and whatever, and they got me into a thing on RTE. There was a show, a kind of a young people show called At Last TV for a couple of years, and they got a segment on that where it was like a little mini sitcom with me and Joe Rooney in it, Deirdre Kane and a few other people, and we were going to be playing politicians. So I did that before I was in TED. And then Graham Linehan saw me in town one night and liked what I did.
Saw you doing stand-up?
Yeah. That was the first night someone said, it heckled me for having a big head.
Right.
And I said, right, next time I'm just going to mention my big head. Just get it out of the way. And I said it that, so I'm still doing that. But
see, I have a big head. I don't know how this is going to look.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I have a big head as well.
Have you ever had it measured?
No.
Give us a look at your hat the way it is. The way, just see.
It's maxed out.
No, it doesn't fit me. Doesn't fit me.
Jesus, you have a bigger head than
me.
Yeah. Finally.
Yeah.
I'd be always looking at editing it after thinking the size of my head compared to that guest. So I think we might be.
People often say during gigs, "Oh, I have a big head," and I'm like, "No, you fucking don't." And a few years ago, I was in the Tommy Tiernan show, and the costume department measured our heads. And John Calleary from the Savage Eye, John from Sligo, brilliant comedian, and he often says he's a big head. He has a big head, but it's much smaller than mine. Right. Mine was off the scale. It's almost in the clinical range. Big head. Macrocephaly.
Do you think it's kind of an underrated head in the grand scheme of things? People don't give you the credit you deserve.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I should.
You don't have a big. You have a small face.
Yeah, I know that's head. A problem. That's
so
a problem.
It's kind of deceiving.
It is deceiving. People don't realize it. Yeah, because my small face. But I'm also taller than I look. That is another thing that people often think I'm tiny when they meet me.
What height are you?
I'm 5'10".
Yeah.
Yeah. People often assume I'm about 5'5", but I'm 5'10". Yeah. And but my head is much bigger. So I started doing stuff with the big head after that when I met Graham Linehan. So Graham, after a while, I knew him for a bit, and then I met Arthur, and then they started thinking, we might get you into the next series, or might get you into the Christmas special of Father Ted. And I did audition for that.
They'd already been. Father Ted had been running for a few years.
So Father Ted came out about 5 months before I started.
It was 95 as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that came out in April, something like that, March or April. And I started doing it stand-up in September 95.
Yeah.
So it had come out and it was kind of big. Straight away it was quite big. Second series came out. Joe Rooney was in that one and a few others that were on the same.
Father Damo.
Yeah, and Father Damo, yeah, and that got really big. After the second series, it got really, really big.
Yeah.
And I think they were working on the second series when I met them. And then the Christmas special was later in the year. And they said, come down and audition. And I did. And I didn't get it. I didn't mind because none of the parts suited me. I read for a few different parts. And but then they said, oh no, we'll definitely think of you for the third series.
Right.
And they had a few different ideas. They had an idea that I might be Ted's long lost son. That he builds up this idea that his son is brilliant. He's going to be amazing. Yeah. And then he's just like Dougal.
Oh right.
Yeah. And then I don't know what else. Maybe Dougal's brother or something like that. Anyway, then they came up with this thing, the Owen McLove thing, and yeah. So I remember getting the script and just laughing my head off. Couldn't believe it.
It's always a good sign, isn't it?
Yeah. I couldn't believe it. I said, if I get this part, I just can't wait to say the lines. They're so funny,
Yeah. And it was one episode centred around Owen McLove, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was he in multiple?
No,
just one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it was like when people say they're only in a show, they had one appearance. you automatically think, just maybe for a minute or something.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
whole episode was
Some
centered
people
around
are.
him.
Look, some people are only in 1 or 2 episodes and they're still dining out on the Father Ted thing, because they were that's what they're remembered for.
Yeah.
And like, even one good scene was amazing, like,
Yeah.
But it's centered around Owen. And there was a bit of pressure, I think. Maybe they felt it. I did. I felt a bit of pressure maybe doing it. I remember my overriding memory of filming it was that I had to stay in character. Almost like Robert De Niro. Because I'd know there was a lot of pressure. There was like, this is the biggest show, one of the biggest shows. Like, it was the biggest show on Channel 4, biggest Irish sitcom, and one of the biggest shows in Britain. And so you're going to be on this, this episode is dependent on you a bit, like, kind of. And there was a bit of pressure. And I remember just thinking, stay in character, never drop character.
Yeah.
So I think for the week of filming in or rehearsing in London, I was just kind of rigid and like, being Owen.
Yeah.
That was my main memory.
Yeah.
That was how I dealt with the whole thing. If I just am him, it'll make it
Yeah.
easier. I won't worry about fecking up or anything like that,
Yeah, it's a seamless transition then onto the in
And
front of the cameras.
it wasn't a stretch like for me as an actor because I was very like him, and they had observed me over the previous year and would have picked up on things. Like, I'm odd as feck, and they would have picked up on a lot of my oddities.
Yeah.
And incorporated it into the script.
Yeah, and how
I do have a willy though. That's not when I say that. That's not like I'm not saying that, but like a lot of the things like being odd and abrupt.
Yeah.
And that,
Yeah, I rewatched it again a couple of days ago. Just hilarious. The gang of old women coming for you. The old women were mad about you, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
they loved you.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Was that a thing that translated into real life? Did old women have a penchant for you when you were younger?
They kind of did. I suppose I was one of those. My mother would have mammied me a bit. I would have been like babied a lot. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of I remember doing the audition and basing it on myself, on my communion photograph. I should have I could send it to you actually. I have it at home.
I'll put it up there.
Yeah, and I was very like unsmiling. I remember
Right.
the photographer saying, "Try and smile," and I was saying, "I am smiling," and like I couldn't smile. I was very shy, and like I was just very rigid and looked very rigid. I
And
thought,
was
that's Owen.
the head the same size then?
I think
have
that
you-
my
have you
head
grown into
grew
it?
in my teens. I remember wearing a regular large cap. My father had a large cap. I remember about 15 and that fit. By 17, no, I had to get a double XL. Yeah, might still be growing. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, women tended to want to mammy me always.
Right.
There's a vulnerable side they think to me, and there would have been an element of that,
Yeah.
I think I suited that character a lot, because I
Yeah.
had that, helpless thing.
And what's it like being? I suppose you've been in a lot of things, like I say, there's a lot of parts in the Savage Eye and the Naked Camera and a few movies and stuff as well. Moon Boy, that was another one you were in, wasn't it? That was about your head, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Yeah. No, that
but
Moonboy
you-
was great, yeah.
But you're predominantly remembered as Owen McLove
Yeah.
and Father Ted. And what's that like?
It's okay, I mean, I always say, like, I'm okay, as an actor, but I mean, I'm limited enough. Like, I'd find it very hard to play certain roles. I couldn't do Shakespeare or anything like that. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't remember it, and I wouldn't be able to just be
Yeah.
convincing
And
as a knight or something like that. I just wouldn't be. It suited me perfectly.
Yeah,
It was just within my range
yeah,
on that, and it's been a good thing. I slag myself and put, I say, people are always saying I've no willy and I'm typecast, but I'm really now, I can't be complaining.
yeah.
It's been really good. It's a nice level of fame. It's not like, if you were a bigger star in that, maybe you'd be worried about being typecast or getting recognised too much. But I'm not, like, it's grand.
Yeah, I mean, it was a brilliant character, so it's
Yeah,
not like...
yeah.
I think part of it would probably be... I was just thinking about it last night that, like, in the last, I don't know, 10 years or so, there's no more comedy like that being made.
Yeah.
Maybe longer than 10 years, I don't know. But
No,
it's just such a
no.
brilliant show
Yeah,
that I think people yearn for characters like that now.
totally, yeah.
And for TV shows like that now, but they don't happen anymore.
I mean, I think I could go into a rant or a bit of a lecture on this, but like comedy on television has kind of died off a lot, and even shows that are comedy aren't necessarily that funny. They're good shows often.
Yeah.
If you watch Derry Girls, like it gets huge ratings in Britain and here, and it's not laugh out loud funny. It's a good show with really good characters, really good actors. They're interesting stories, and you identify with the characters, but it's actually not laugh out loud funny.
Yeah.
It really isn't. I'm sorry about that, but that's what I think.
Aye.
And like Father Ted was like laugh out loud funny, and
every episode.
Yeah. And like you think back on like a lot of even mainstream ones, Only Fools and Horses, still very popular, or other contemporary shows like the One Foot in the Grave, and then later on The Office or something like that.
Yes.
They're laugh out loud. They really are laugh out loud. I'm watching a show at the minute. I love it. It's called Small Profits. It's Mackenzie Crook, who used to be in The Office. It's a lovely show.
Garrett from The Office, right?
Yeah, Garrett from The Office. And it's a lovely show. It's actually quite funny. But it's not the old sitcoms, laugh out loud. We're just doing this for laughs.
Yeah.
It's kind of poignant in the way Father Ted was never really poignant. Always, if you thought it was getting poignant, it always burst your bubble.
Oh, yeah.
Same with like Seinfeld always had that thing of no hugs, no learning.
Mm-hmm.
And like everything now is a lot of hugs, a lot of learning.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think.
Yeah. I don't think I haven't laughed out loud at a comedy show on RTE and since probably The Savage Eye, actually.
Yeah.
To me, that was laugh out loud.
Yeah.
The more ridiculous, the better. People, I don't know. It's all good being relatable and being cool and hugging and and being a nice story,
being moral and ethical or whatever.
And a nice story and all that, and having good actors in it. But like, you get that every day of your life anyway. You want to see something that you don't see every day on TV, don't you? On a comedy show, like
Yeah, I know. I mean, there was Après match maybe after that. Like they did an Après match of the day. I used to enjoy that. That was really it. You know, that was that.
What's happened? Do you think?
That's a mystery. I think it's a mystery. I think a lot of comedy has gone online. A lot of it's online. So most comedy now. The main gateway to success now is Instagram, isn't it, and TikTok?
Yeah.
So if you make it there, you'll do well. You'll sell theaters, like just on your following. People often do become big on Instagram, then become a stand-up. So I mean, it's all gone there, and I think maybe people are nervous putting a comedy out. Nowadays, in case of offending, maybe a bit. But I don't really know. I don't know. It's a mystery. It's just one of those things. Like,
you have the two Johnnies now. That's kind of the main one, isn't it?
Yeah. And look, it's grand, but I mean, it's not a sitcom or a sketch show. It's kind of a bit of crack.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of stand-up and whatever. But yeah, there's nothing. I mean, there's a lot of things like Sisters or that thing that's on recently, These Sacred Vows, and they're humorous and all of that, but they're not laugh out loud funny, They're not
the likes of Harry Enfield, remember that?
Yeah, that's all gone. That's all gone. Yeah, that all the sketch show has kind of died off.
Little Britain was great.
It was brilliant. Yeah,
well.
I know.
Yeah, absurdity is very funny, isn't it?
I know. Yeah, totally. But like it has died. Mitchell and Webb brought out a sketch show last year. It didn't do much, but that's about it. Like they don't commission sketch shows, and sketch shows were like a power. Like, I mean, you're talking about Graham and Arthur, who wrote Father Ted, or Harry Enfield, and a lot of people who actually, and the guys who wrote Peep Show, Ricky Gervais, people like that. We're talking about, like, they started out, and Mackenzie Crook, they all started out on sketch shows. They pretty much writing for sketch shows or appearing in them.
Yeah.
And that was a great sort of engine for comedy.
Yeah.
At that time, a lot of stars came out of that world, and that's gone. All sketches are online, though. I mean, it's all online. One of the problems now, I suppose, is we when you did The Savage Eye or whatever, and you wanted to set something in space or in the 18th century, the RT would give you a budget to do that. Whereas now you're just like looking around the house for bits and pieces. You don't really have the budget to make quality stuff. You have to limit your expectations with
a plank of wood with a stenciled permanent marker on it or something. Oh, that's my new sign, Pat. You're the first guest on under the new sign. Not too bad, is it?
No, it's good. It'll probably look good on the camera.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah. But so no, I mean that is something that is completely, that's a big cultural shift, I suppose you might call it.
Yes.
The death of the sitcom. the rise of dramedy and the death of the sketch show.
And the power of the individual now.
Power of the individual.
Like this, recording themselves.
Exactly.
Like me, like what I'm doing now.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
Like I didn't need much of a budget to set this up, and then, it's kind of, it's a big shift in a short amount of time, isn't it?
Absolutely. There's good and bad with it all,
Yeah.
Yeah, there is good and bad. I think in some ways, some people back in the day could spoof a career,
Yeah.
If you could just like get the right journalists on your behind you, and maybe you'd spoof your way into getting a television show, and then make a career of that. Nowadays, I think the standard is pretty okay now in Irish stand up. There were times where certain ropey acts were getting into festivals and getting things, and like.
Still is a bit. I think.
There's a bit, but
Yeah.
it's not as bad as it was. 10 years ago,
Really?
maybe. No, and like, there's a lot of good stand-ups now. Really are. It's hard for me. Yeah, I mean, it's hard when you didn't have to worry about that for a long time, But
Yeah.
there's a lot of competition, and every so often someone new will come out, and
Yeah.
it's more people. Like there are many people do Victor Street now or the Olympia. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
And if they're not doing their own shows, they're doing support.
Yeah,
So they're getting to experience that.
yeah.
Yeah, it's becoming less of what would you call it? Less of a special thing. Like now,
Yeah.
it's kind of, you hear someone's done Vicar Street, you're like,
I know.
cool.
Yeah. I know, yeah. But I suppose the only thing, maybe, I would say, I don't know where the Harry Enfields are. I don't know where maybe the Harry Hills, just Harry's, but
Yeah.
Harry Hill or someone like that, or the next Steve Coogan maybe. There's a guy who does impressions on Instagram called Tony Lapidus now. He does people who would be sort of on YouTubers, like maybe, sort of they be slightly culture warsy type figures.
Okay.
The Tucker Carlsons, people like that. And he does impressions of those, and he's very, very good. But he's got very little following. He's an English guy.
Yeah.
Maybe 20, 30 years ago, a producer or someone in the BBC would say, he's good, I'm going to give him his own series, take a big risk on him,
Yeah.
give him all this backing. And then suddenly people might be watching something more mainstream, but then watch him and say, well, that's very good, actually. I'm kind of into that. But that doesn't happen now. The algorithms don't bring it to people like him. They bring it to something a bit more mainstream, I think.
Yeah. And YouTube monetizes you now, so
Yeah.
that the BBC or RT would be up against the potential money that can be made
I know.
from YouTube or
I know.
Spotify or whoever.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
yeah.
they'd be looking at the long run of, will I give myself to this TV organisation, or do I have the potential to build this big enough so that I'd make more?
Why would you
on my
bother?
own?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it does tend to favour maybe something a little more mainstream and a bit more. Is it homogenous? Would that be?
I think that's
Instead of, you don't get that broad type of different oddballs making it.
maybe androgynous,
Maybe I don't.
homogenous.
Be careful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all a bit homogenous. So you do tend to hear a lot of the similar themes in a lot of stand-up and that.
I think Owen McLove was androgynous
He was androgynous. Yeah,
with no willy.
Literally, he was.
That's
yeah.
what it means, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to check that out.
No,
I
it
could be
was. He
totally
was.
wrong.
He was. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No one ever gives him credit for that, does he?
Huh?
No one ever gives him credit for that he was androgynous.
No. He was a pioneer.
Yeah.
Didn't drink.
You're a non-drinker yourself.
I am a non-drinker now. Yeah.
Was
I
it-
haven't been drinking in a couple of years. Yeah.
How long have you been off it?
3 years, but it kind of wasn't like, oh God, I need to quit. It's out of control. I just stopped over the years. I got less and less, and I thought, why bother me, arse? And I don't like the hangovers, and they were really like it that much,
You get used to being fresh, don't you?
You get used to being fresh. I'm older now, and the hangovers were just. The few times I did drink in a year, I couldn't handle the hangovers. I just couldn't function.
Were you a Guinness man or?
Yeah, I drank Guinness at the end, but I drink a bit of lager and craft beers I would have got into for a while.
Yeah.
Then I realised, you could just have a Haribo sweet and a can of lager and it tastes like a craft beer.
Oh.
Yeah. You know the way
Yeah,
this tastes a bit like banana or whatever, and they're a bit of caramel. Just have a caramel with a beer.
Yeah. There's so many flavours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't drink now, and I'm not like going around. I'm a non-drinker. I'm not. I
Yeah.
just don't bother me arse. And if you were to toast someone here with a champagne glass, I'd drink a bit of the champagne.
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't be totally against it.
I wouldn't be able to get up for a week, but like,
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
drink though. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I ask you a bit about the experience of working on the Father Ted set? Um, who were you predominantly hanging around with in the time that you were
So I
on?
knew Graham and Arthur quite well. Arthur's from Louth, and I'm from Louth.
Yeah.
So we bonded. So I talked to him a lot. And Ardle was a great guy. I think it wouldn't have happened without him. I mean, it wouldn't have been the hit without him.
Yeah.
No one else could have played Dougal. And I think, I did. I enjoyed his company and talking to him and that, and watching him work.
Yeah.
And the way he took the scripts and turned it into gold, just amazing. And so those two predominantly, yeah. I mean, Frank Kelly I spoke to a bit, and Pauline, they were all very professional. And
But the Loud connection seemed to.
yeah, it was a thing.
So
Yeah,
Ardle's
so
from
Ardle's
Louth.
no, he's from Carrickmacross in Monaghan, just
Monaghan,
over the border, really,
Right.
with Louth. It's not far.
Yeah.
So there was that there, and then Arthur. But I'm not a complete Louth nationalist. I don't
Yeah.
just get on with people from Louth.
Yeah.
But that was a connection, though. We had a similar sense of humour, similar bordery type sense of humour.
Yeah.
So that was good. Made me feel very much at home. The English didn't know what to make of it because they didn't know because Owen was kind of based on Daniel O'Donnell. They didn't know what to make it. They didn't quite get what it was all about. The way old women chasing him and all that. I don't think that phenomena that hit England. They weren't aware of the Daniel O'Donnell thing and all the women turning up to his house for tea, and also the guy who directed that series, Andy de Emine, he couldn't pronounce Owen. He kept calling me Ewan.
Right.
So Ewan, when you walk out here, well, first of all, my name is Patrick, and I'm not Owen, but it's Owen. Owen. Just say it's Owen. Just say that. So Ewan, fuck off.
Ewan's the
British
Welsh
bastards. Yeah. But it was odd to be most people are Irish in that whole setup, but it was weird to have the English among us.
Yeah.
The actual thing of filming, if you film down in Clare, I think for the second and third series and the Christmas special, all the exterior shots were filmed down around the west coast, Clare particularly.
Right.
And so you were staying in a hotel there for a couple of days, and at that time there was a lot of drinking going on. There was a big drink culture in comedy and that, so we were all hammered. I was hungover doing it, filming those scenes.
Really?
Outdoors. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And but it was good experience. And then go to England, then going to London. You were rehearsing in a room for 3 or 4 days. I can't remember long. And so you were very well rehearsed by the time you got on the set. You knew it inside out pretty much.
And where was the set located?
It was in South Bank Studios in London.
That's where the.
Yeah, the interior. Yeah, so there was about 300 people in the crowd. It was very big. You knew it was weird. Actually, the predominant memory I have of doing it was seeing the set. And I was so familiar with the set and just been blown away by seeing it and walking around it. It was like a dream.
Because you'd watched the first two.
Yeah, I watched the first two. I loved it. I loved the show. And then to see that was a big deal, being on the set. And we filmed a few scenes, like the Owen McLove show. That was filmed during the day, before the audience came in.
Yeah.
And so I was sitting in the wings where the audience were in, waiting to go on. And then the Owen McLove show bit came up before I was on the set, and I was thinking, wait till they get a load of me, or they'll be laughing their head off, and they didn't at all. Oh no, they were all into the 4 main characters. They were like gods to them. So everything they said got massive laughs.
So Jack, Mrs.
Doyle, Father Ted, and Dougal. And I was like, I've compared it recently to maybe someone coming out and playing Triangle with the Beatles.
Right.
Imagine the Beatles come back and you're in the triangle in the back, and you're trying to make an impression. But it took a few minutes maybe although I think once I came out and I said, I smell wee, I think that was really the big time, Owen got a big laugh.
Yeah.
Smelled
it off Jack, didn't he?
Yeah. I think I said, what about, he said he wanted to go home, and then he said, what about the mental one or something, he looks a bit thick or something, I can't remember. And then I smell weed. That was the big laugh, and then
Yeah.
from there on, I didn't have to worry. Like, it was big laughs then from there on. So I've no Willie got a huge laugh. The bit with the jam got a huge laugh because Ardle hadn't seen me eating the jam before.
Right.
So he thought I was just going to get a little teaspoon and put a bit in here, but I wolfed it, and he pissed himself. And then we had to do it again, but it got huge laughs.
Right.
And the whole "I can have you killed." I've no Willie.
Iconic.
Yeah, they were all huge laughs then, and I was quite relaxed.
Do you think it was the British audience trying to get used to you? Was there a British audience?
Yeah, there was. Yeah. I mean, I think they just didn't pick up. I think if being an Irish audience, they'd immediately pick up on Daniel O'Donnell. They would have said, "That's Daniel," and they would have immediately got the joke. But I don't think the English ever did. And even now, like, I don't think they fully get it. They laugh at it and they like the lines, but you know, I remember we're doing myself and Joe Rooney and Michael Redmond, who played Father Stone, and Ben Keaton, who played I can't remember what his Orson Purcell, the boring priest. You're talking like that, you know. In the
kept talking.
Kept talking that. We did Comic-Con in England, a few Comic-Cons in England, signing autographs and that. But it did okay. I would do okay, but like, I was probably the least popular of the four, like, in terms of that. But then when it came to Dublin, I was inundated with it, you know, because it just resonated much more here.
Yeah.
That character, definitely.
Yeah, there's something in the humour, isn't there? In the Irish humour that's not present in any other humour around the world. I don't know if you get a new appreciation for an Irish audience when you're doing a lot of gigs for...
Well, in Dublin.
Yeah.
Because you don't really meet... When we gig in town, I mean, sometimes you just literally no Irish people in.
Absolutely. And then...
You see, there's a funny thing nowadays. Like, you typically, you used to do gigs in town, and that would be in Dublin. And you would try out new material to go out on the road and play in Tipperary or something. And you hone that material for them. But now they're totally different audiences who don't... You know... The Tipperary crowd want you to do an Irish stuff. Like, they want you doing jokes about our culture.
Yeah.
Whereas these people don't get it at all say, in a lot of gigs in the city.
Yeah. Yeah, it's... it
But
makes
you do appreciate the Irish audience when you gig abroad or whatever. And just come home, the relief. Where all the shorthand you have, they all get.
Yeah. I think we have a very... I'd say, from my limited experience, Irish audiences, they have a versatility in how they understand what you're doing.
Totally.
As in, they know if you're being sarcastic, they know if you're being ironic.
It's a fluidity. Yeah. We're struggling with words here today, but like a fluidity of thought.
Yeah.
There is that. Yeah.
Whereas a German will go...
The Germans aren't the word. Do you know, sometimes, God love them, but it used to be, maybe it's changed, Australian audiences would be very literal. I remember, like, and they'd be like, and like, you know, the Irish people would be cracking up at doing, and Americans as well, because they'd be very sharp to all this. Like, I find Americans very good generally.
Me too, yeah.
And that, you know, and they'd be completely tuning in, and the Australians would be like, "What are you talking about? What's going on? What, you know?" Yeah, definitely.
They wouldn't have produced much comedy, would they, the Australians?
They did, you know, but
did
I mean, yeah. But I mean, they've got good comedians, but you know,
at
a certain time,
the
audiences would be just a bit not quite in tune with that our way of thinking.
Do you know what I think is the funniest show on Irish TV at the moment and has been for years? Fair City.
Yeah.
Now you'd be laughing at it.
Well, they've got Beverly Callard from Coronation Street now. Liz McDonald is in it. Yeah. So she's come in now, and it's weird because, and this has happened before, when someone from one soap opera comes into another, you just think, you're not that character, you're Liz McDonald.
Yeah.
You work behind the bar.
Yeah.
You were married to Jim. Now, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be
I don't believe this.
It'd be like Owen McLove going into
totally.
a different, and as a different character.
Yeah. That's what I'd be doing everything, though. Same character.
Yeah, but I mean, it's great that you're that character, which is obviously so well known.
Yeah.
It translates so well to you doing your stand up.
Yeah, it does.
So people, there's no surprises. Like,
no, they're not disappointed.
Yeah.
Because I am, it's sort of based on the character, the persona I have on stage. So, yeah, it's not alien to them. Like me coming, I'm pretty much own. Just cranky, opinionated, it's a bit absurdist.
Yes.
Yeah, like the Father Ted humor.
We're getting
yeah.
good with the words again now.
Yeah, we
Coming
are.
back
We're
to us.
getting it's coming. Yeah.
What was the favourite? What was your favourite project you ever worked on for you?
The favorite project,
Your
the one
favourite?
closest to my heart.
Yeah.
It was definitely the Savage Eye, 100%.
Yeah.
It was very difficult because Dave is mental, and Dave is open about that. He was very difficult, but it was great. It was a great opportunity. Dave's a bit of a genius.
Absolutely.
Yeah, brilliant writer, brilliant performer. He got me on board and loads of comedians actually for the first series, and then he whittled it down to myself, Dermot McMurrow, and John Calleary to work with him to write. And it was brilliant. You got to write. You could pretty much freedom to say anything you want at that
Absolutely.
time. You don't have now. Same with Naked Camera, with total freedom. And so I got to write. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed some of the filming and that, but I mean, he could be very difficult out when we're out filming. He could be, it could all kick off, and the director might leave, or people might cry, and
over Dave.
Yeah. And I quit at one point. I just said, "Look, I can't do it anymore." And then so he rang up all apologetic. And
Did you just have a row, or?
I just got fed up. Got fed up of him being so capricious.
Jeez, that's a good word.
I know. I had to redeem myself there. But he could be very changeable, and he could. It was difficult.
Yeah.
It was difficult. I know it was hard on my ego and all that. Everyone's, and so it was difficult. Dave is open about this. He had a bit of a breakdown maybe during the start of the third series, and he stopped. He couldn't write as much. So then the rest of us had to fill in the gaps, and we got to write more. So even though the series probably aren't as good, I think the last series and the second half of the third series that aren't as good, but we got to write more, and it was great. I loved doing that. I loved working on that. I did a short film then with the two of the guys who directed it.
Right.
After, called My Life for Ireland. It's on YouTube, and I really enjoyed working on that as well.
My what?
My Life for Ireland.
Oh, nice. I'll
yeah,
check
and
that out
it's on
tonight.
YouTube, and I really enjoyed doing that. But like the Savage Eye is the one for me. I loved it. I love watching it. I think it was a great show, and I'm really proud of it. And that would be number one. I mean, everything else. I mean, Naked Camera was a great thing, and PJ was genius. But I mean, it was nerve wracking and all of that. Working doing hidden camera stuff.
Do you have a favourite sketch or moment of the Savage Eye that stands out that you enjoyed filming the most?
Well, I mean, from a performance point of view, I remember really liking doing the Garda sketches. I really thought, this is within my range, and that's grand. Not much range, but like I really enjoyed them. I found them very funny, and like for the first one we ever did, Dave did a lot of ad-libbing, so we had to not laugh.
Right.
When we're doing all this stuff.
How in the name of God?
Yeah, we'd no rehearsal. He just made that up on the spot, and myself and John had to do all this.
How could you not laugh?
And repeat, and it was incredibly hard, and we didn't. I just remember a bit like back in Owen McGlove days, just staying in character, and it was genius. Like, and all of those sketches, that Garda sketches, I loved doing those. I felt that was good. Yeah, and there were a couple of sketches I wrote that I'm not in that I'm very proud of.
And which ones are they?
There was a couple of things like there was one that. The Foil Arms and Hog were in with Dave, and there were two guys going for a job in America, one from Kerry, one from Dublin, and when they looked at each other, they saw. Eventually, they saw different. One of them saw the guy from Kerry saw the Dublin guy wearing a top hat. Right. He looked like really posh, and the same with the guy. He looked like a muck savage. And then when the American comes out, he just sees two leprechauns.
Ah, right.
That was it.
Right. Yeah.
That was based on an experience I had, not in America but in England, and then I wrote a few others. I wrote this one, and I don't know now if I'd write it now, but basically two Fianna Fáil politicians visiting a hunger striker during the hunger strikes. And I was proud of that one, but I mean, I wouldn't write it now.
Yeah.
I'd be too nervous. Times have changed. Yeah. But I mean, look, and there's plenty in those series that I really enjoyed. And I would have loved to move on and written more, but it was kind of, things were coming to an end in RT then. In terms of commissioning, sitcoms and that, it became harder for someone like me, especially my age, to get stuff made. Yeah,
it's definitely changed. I think there's definitely a relation between or a connection between the lack of belly laughter in Irish comedy TV shows now, and being afraid to go over the line.
Well, yeah. So
There has to be a connection.
I was in a show
isn't there?
called Stew. It was a sketch show written by Paul Woodfull and Paul Tylak in 2004, 2005. And they were at the very end of that time when you couldn't use the F word more than once or twice.
Right.
And, you get a couple of bastards and, and they were very limited in what they could do. For some reason, I don't know what it was. Maybe the budget came out of drama or something like that. A naked camera, I couldn't believe it. We were told, "Oh, no, you just do what you like." I mean, can I do this character? Yeah, whatever. You have complete freedom. And the same with the Savage Eye. And for some reason, I don't know why, there was a window where we had complete freedom. I think I was told at the time maybe RTE weren't going to take the flak if there was a problem. The production company would. They could take the risk of putting it out. And they would then be punished or whatever it was for crossing the line or using the inappropriate language. So we were told no, just total and I was filming naked camera and Stu at the same time. And on one, you were really strict. They were really strict, and they were going pouring over the scripts. And in the other one, they never looked. There was no meetings.
Wow.
Them. Naked camera was literally you go off and make that, and we'll put it out. No bother. So literally anything could happen.
Wow.
Yeah. But that wouldn't happen now.
No.
They'd be very, very nervous. And no, literally, you couldn't do that.
Wouldn't you think, though, that they would let you make it and then they look at it and go, look, maybe not this or this or this? So,
not at the time. No.
Yeah.
They were right on top of some things. And, yeah. But no, in terms of those two shows, the Savage Eye, literally, would come up with anything. Now, they did drop a couple of sketches. And I think, rightly so, because they were inappropriate.
Can we go into them?
There was one for being blasphemous. I remember that in the fourth series. There was one with these mad nuns, and they get all. It was a take on a Diet Coke ad.
Okay.
Where Dave had a sexy Jesus, and they were all getting turned on by sexy Jesus.
Right.
And he put that up on YouTube and all that, and it was all right. But that was considered blasphemous. But that was about it. And there were a few. Look, there were things that were deemed racist.
Yeah,
I think and they weren't shown.
Yeah. I suppose funny has to come first, doesn't it?
Yeah, and they were racist.
Yeah. Right. Sorry, I get told I look like a racist all the time, so don't worry about it. Yeah. I think the funniness has to come first, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
And then racism next.
Yeah, exactly. But you're right, funny first, but that seems to be forgotten. Again, we go back and say it's a mystery why that has happened, that comedy is more more worried about emotions and caring and hugs and learning, and it's not now. It wasn't back then. It was about the laugh.
Yeah, it should be about that as well. It
It doesn't treat us like grown-ups. I think that we can I'm not gonna bully people if I watch something that's funny, or I'm not gonna use that. I'm an adult.
Yeah,
I know what's right and wrong.
Exactly.
I don't. I just treat us and make us laugh.
Yeah. I think we get I'm going to say a new word now. I think sometimes we get toddlerized.
That's a good one.
In Ireland.
It wouldn't pass. It's probably too big for Countdown, but it wouldn't get past the Susie Dent and that. Yeah, toddlerized. I'll look it up though.
Yeah.
I will use it though.
It's probably a new word.
I think it is. Yeah, you've coined a new word.
Toddlerized. They toddlerize us, don't they? Sometimes in Ireland.
Just like the coffee shop, no money wouldn't give me the change.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then
can't trust us with money.
You can't say anything then. You can't say no. Like you said earlier, I think some people, especially if you got them on a bad day and a coffee shop wouldn't take their cash.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You could really take them to town.
You
and you wouldn't really blame them either,
No.
They've earned that money and now they can't get a coffee.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been in places where they've said, look, do you want to come back tomorrow and pay us or something like that? People have been decent. Look, we've no change.
Yeah.
You can come back and I'll give you the 20 quid tomorrow. I'll give you a note and all that. But they didn't. It was just
Yeah. Well, I went to the National Stadium to see Franz Ferdinand recently.
How is he?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stop. Do you know who he is?
Yeah, I do. I know Franz Ferdinand, yeah.
What? Go on then.
He was the
what's he known
Austrian Duke. Was he the one who was shot? No. He was the guy shot. Gavrilo Princip shot him in 1914. Yeah.
Which sparked World
Spark
War
World
One.
War One. Yeah.
Good band as well.
Yeah,
and
good
you know
band.
what, but there was a little great place for a gig, by the way. National Stadium. It's usually boxing, you know. But
I know what boxing is. You don't have to show me.
but they have a shop there selling sweets, and it's like a real old fashioned shop, you know. And it says, and I loved this. I fell in love with the place when I saw this. What did it say? Cash preferred, card accepted. Great to see.
Very good.
You know,
Very good.
as a bittering, aging man,
Yeah.
it's great to see that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Really
yeah,
is.
Yeah.
Just a little, you know, a little win
Yeah.
every now and then.
Yeah.
And then at the opposite end of the spectrum, then insomnia, refusing cash.
Totally. No, I'm glad we gave Garden House a good shout out.
Yeah, I think that was to try and kind of distract from any inklings of racism towards the Chinese.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But I think
Yeah.
we did it.
We
well.
did. We did.
One other thought, I had a very random thought just before we finish. It's quite. I might edit this out. It might not be relevant at all, but I was thinking about the appeal of a character like Owen McLove back in the 90s, just in a time when the Catholic Church had been, so that the appeal of like a priest with no willy was quite a good thing.
Well, he wasn't a priest.
Oh, he wasn't a priest.
He wasn't a priest.
All right,
Yeah.
you have me there.
Yeah.
Would have been a good idea, though, wouldn't it?
Owen McLove was kind of toddlerized.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he still being toddlerized?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Pat. Look. By the way, everyone, please follow on Spotify and rate 5 stars. And if you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, and share. It's been absolutely fantastic having you on, Pat.
It's great. Yeah, no, it's great. Thanks
Thank
very much for having me. The river hasn't burst its banks, at least.
Not yet. There's been rain hitting the ceiling there for a while. Hopefully, I can drown the sound of that out in the background, but it should be fine.
Yeah.
And it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, and it's been great working with you lately as well.
Thanks very much, Dan. The same
And,
here. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll work together
100%.
into the future.
Into the future.
And
yeah.
drink many more coffees together.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks very much, guys, for watching and listening, and see you on the next one. Cheers.